Straight ahead on IU NewsNet, Governor Eric Holcomb vetoed a bill prohibiting anti-Semitism. We have the latest on his reasons why and what this means for public universities like IU.
After 40 years, Indiana welcomes back happy hour to local restaurants. We'll tell you how this could affect students and their cherished bar bargains.
And with the total eclipse closing in, our Isabel Hook shows you how to look out for fake glasses that can damage your eyes. IU NewsNet starts now. Welcome to IU NewsNet. I'm Julia Pearl.
And I'm Kara Adams.
A legislative session is wrapping up with bills hitting Governor Holcomb's desk. IU NewsNet's Emma Herway is in studio to tell us about one controversial bill he recently vetoed. Emma?
Thanks, guys. Governor Eric Holcomb vetoed a bill Monday that would define and ban anti-Semitism in state public education institutions. The bill that passed the House and Senate used the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's definition of anti-Semitism, but left out specific examples. Initial inclusion of these examples in the bill had critics saying they prevented free speech, and that criticism of the state of Israel should not be considered as anti-Semitism. Holcomb says that without specifics, the bill does not go far enough to define anti-Semitism. He signed a proclamation that says the state endorses the IHRA working definition that includes its examples.
The entire IHRA definition of anti-Semitism is what needs to be part of that bill. That's the most accepted definition by the Jewish community, by President Biden, by 30, I think it's 30, I don't know the exact number, but I think it's 35 other states.
The House and Senate now have the opportunity to override the veto with a simple majority vote. If both chambers get that majority, the bill becomes law. Guys, back to you at the desk.
IU is expanding its use of text messages to increase safety on campus, but you may need to take action to get them. Our Caroline Geib has the story. Caroline?
Thanks, Julia and Kara. I am here standing in front of one of our blue lights on campus, which serve as an emergency phone service to IUPD. With the push of a button, you can call IUPD at any time you need them, and they'll be there in 60 seconds. But this is not our only safety option for IU's campus. IU is improving safety measures here on campus, which you can access through your phone. IU Notify is IU's mass communication tool regarding class cancellations, inclement weather, and more. Starting next Thursday, all IU students and staff on all campuses will receive IU Notify messages on their mobile devices. Currently, all IU students and staff receive IU Notify messages through email, but they had to opt into text. Now students and staffs will be required to opt into these text messages. It is encouraged to opt in through one.iu to make sure your phone number is accurate, but if you do not, these messages will go to the phone number IU has on file for you.
And we understood through a lot of, trial and error with this that not everyone's checking their email all the time, and that's okay. But text messages, we know that folks are checking those quite often.
If you're already opted into text messages, you do not need to take any action. Back to you guys at the desk.
It'll be 5 o'clock somewhere across Indiana on July 1st when happy hour officially comes back to the state after 40 years. On March 14th, Governor Holcomb signed the House Enrolled Act 1086 behind the bar of the Whistle Stop Inn in Indianapolis. Will happy hour be every hour? The answer is no. While it is legal again, businesses cannot run happy hour for more than 4 hours a day or 15 hours a week. All happy hour deals also must conclude by 10 p.m. There are not many answers as to how this will impact Bloomington, but it is clear that students are not willing to give up their weekday deals at places like Kilroy's and Bluebird.
It's kind of a staple $2 Tuesday at Sport or Roy's, and then $3 Thursday at Sports. I like the way it is right now. Wouldn't change it.
While there is no outward changes to Bloomington bar deals, there's still plenty of time before this law falls into effect.
By now, you have heard that TikTok may be banned in the United States, but there seems to be some confusion about when and why and under what circumstances. IU NewsNet's Zeke Shapiro joins us to clear it up. Zeke?
TikTok, entertaining, exciting, and dangerous? The U.S. House of Representatives has passed a bill to potentially ban the social media app due to security problems. But how much do IU students know about the controversial proposal? Last Wednesday, the United States Senate passed a bill that would eliminate TikTok in the United States unless the Chinese parent company ByteDance sold their stake. The issue stemmed from potential data leaks from the over 170 million American users. While the bill may seem simple to understand and a resolution might be coming very soon, there are still those who remain misinformed on the subject, which has led to those who may not know about it becoming very angry.
No, because I have a TikTok problem. So I don't want it to be banned. Because, I mean, like, shows don't do it anymore. Like, I'm so bored, I need TikTok.
With many people getting their information of the situation directly off the app, those who don't have the app seem to have more of an idea about the problems being addressed.
I used to be on TikTok, I'm not anymore, but I know that there were some concerns with like privacy and customers' data, and so I think that's why they're trying to ban TikTok.
In the coming weeks, the bill will move on to the House of Representatives to decide the fate of the app in the United States. President Biden has already stated that he would sign the bill if it gets to his desk. The Chinese tech company has been given a 6-month window to complete a transaction of TikTok, but it'll be a very complex process. On top of that, there have been reports that the Chinese government itself is trying to stop any sale from taking place. Now, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Zeke. There's another matter of politics, even closer to campus, the student government election. The voting to determine the new president, vice president, and other representative positions closed last night. There are 4 campaigns for student body president: United, Nexus, Unite, and Fuse. The United ticket aims to improve campus safety, funding for student organizations, and environmental efforts. Nexus has the goal of supporting campus minority groups, transfer students, and making campus dining more friendly for students with dietary restrictions. Similarly, Unite is also on a path to increase dining options and inclusivity, but they also have a focus on academics. Finally, Fuse is hoping to improve campus safety, keep tuition costs low, and address transportation needs. This election is coming after a controversial year for IUSG leadership. Accusations of anti-Semitism, racism, and a move to impeach the former student body president and vice president have emphasized the impact of elections like this. The results will be released on March 25th through March 26th, according to an election manager.
When we come back, a new documentary comes to campus about a 33-year-old case cracked by a local reporter. We hear from her about a racially motivated murder in Martinsville, the girl in the yellow scarf.
Plus, we'll take you inside a club growing by leaps and bounds on campus, pairing horses with riders. IU NewsNet is back in a moment.
The solar eclipse is just 2 weeks away, but are you prepared? If you plan on catching a glimpse at the eclipse, experts say that you need to have the right protective glasses. Our Isabel Hook is at IU's astronomy building to tell us what to buy and what to avoid.
Thanks, guys. I'm here outside the Kirkwood Observatory where people will be coming to look at the solar eclipse this April. But if you're looking to buy glasses like these, here are some things you should look for before you buy them. One thing you can do is check the ISO certified number. The ISO should be the one here.
So I'm just gonna order some sunglasses, the special ones, to see the eclipse on Amazon, but just planning to hang out with my friends and see it.
If you bought your glasses already, another thing you can do is test your glasses with a flashlight. If you see little to no light, then your glasses are safe. One thing to note is that NASA does not approve any glasses or products for the solar eclipse. The American Astronomical Society also lists companies with products that are safe. And remember, if you're going to look at the solar eclipse, put your glasses on before you look at the sun, and stop looking at the sun before you take them off. For IU NewsNet, I'm Isabel Hook. Now back to you.
A new documentary about the Martinsville murder of a young black woman, Carol Jenkins, came to campus this week. An Indianapolis investigative reporter helped crack the case after 33 years. Girl in the Yellow Scarf screened at IU Cinema Monday evening, following a reception held at the Neil Marshall Black Cultural Center. Reporter Sandra Chapman's colleagues attended in her honor as she dedicated 20 years of her career to Carol Jenkins' murder. The 21-year-old black woman was stabbed to death while selling books in Martinsville, Indiana. And because police also missed several steps in the investigation, the case heightened suspicions of the town's racism.
That was the position of some of the investigators during that time. They said, no, it's not racism at all. And they weren't ashamed to say that. They said it loud and bold.
Thanks to Chapman's news coverage 3 decades later, the case was solved after a viewer called the station, claiming to have witnessed her father murdering Jenkins when she was just 7 years old. Chapman hopes her story can inspire young journalists to always seek the truth.
On March 2nd, a hiker found skeletal remains in a wooded area near the Monroe County Airport. An investigation has been underway since then. Our team reached out to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office for an update, and we're told that law enforcement and the coroner's office are working to identify the remains. Police believe there was no foul play involved, but are reviewing missing persons reports from 2023. It's an ongoing investigation, and our team will keep you updated with what we know.
Switching gears now, IU has an abundance of clubs and teams. But have you ever thought of joining a club where you get to ride horses every day? IU NewsNet's Shelby Brown has the story.
Beautiful. Really nice.
Many clubs at Indiana University give students an opportunity to meet new people, but for one club in particular, it provides a chance to connect not only with peers, but horses as well. The Equestrian Club at IU has made leaps and bounds when it comes to success from this year. It is a club that ranges from beginner riders to advanced riders who compete in statewide competitions.
Having a partner that doesn't speak to you and being able to ride it and give it cues and them understand it is like such a different connection than anything else I can explain.
This club has had more riders competing in regionals and semifinals than ever before. They also have a lot of new riders this year who have made major improvements with each riding lesson.
It just kind of clicked with kind of riding dulce here a little bit, because you had to support but then also sit back and hold. It just made sense one day, and then now I can do it.
Right now I'm in the tack room, and this right here is a saddle, and it's mainly important for the comfort of the horse and the balance of the rider.
It is always exciting to be rewarded for hard work, but for these riders, it's not all about the competition. Head training coach Kelly Hughes says she enjoys
just watching everyone progress and meet goals and seeing them become better riders.
There is a real connection between a horse and its rider, and for these riders, it's easy to tell that they have a true appreciation for what they do.
For more information on the Equestrian Club at IU, you can go to the Be Involved page or go to their Facebook, which is titled Equestrians at Indiana University.
Men's hockey skated their way to the top with the ACHA D2 National Championship. We hear from the player who hit the winning shot.
Plus, despite a quick exit in Big Ten competition, the IU women's basketball team is set to host the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. We look into how this could affect their first game. IU NewsNet Sports coming up next.
It's that time of year that we know and love. March Madness has begun in college basketball.
The IU men are not part of the action, but the women certainly are. Let's go to IU NewsNet's Ari Betherly with sports. Ari?
Thanks, guys. As we know, March Madness is upon us, which also means it is time for the Hoosiers to make a comeback after their most recent loss at the Women's Big Ten Tournament. Indiana women's basketball will host the first rounds of the NCAA tournament for the 3rd straight year as of Sunday. The number 4 seed is set to face the number 13 seed, the Fairfield Stags. Heating things up, the Stags are on a 29-game winning streak and stand 31-1 on the year. On the flip side, the Hoosiers have a 24-5 overall record and have a perfect 15-0 record at home.
You know, anytime that you have an opportunity to play at home in front of your home fans, we really, like you said, we're not just excited, but really grateful that it worked out the way we wanted it to.
The winner of the matchup will move on to the second round of the NCAA tournament to face the winner of the number 5 Oakland and number 12 Florida Gulf Coast University back at Assembly Hall. On the other hand, Indiana men's basketball had a rocky season officially come to a close, following a quick trip to Minneapolis for the Big Ten tournament. On Thursday night, the Hoosiers began their postseason play with the 61-59 win over Penn State with help of the Bloomington native Anthony Leal, who scored the put-in layup and secured Indiana's 5th consecutive win with just 5 seconds left to go. On Friday night, however, it was a different story. it was raining threes at the target center by Nebraska, led by Keisei Tominaga and Bryce Williams, who combined for 3 8-pointers and 46 points. The Cornhuskers cruised past the Hoosiers in the quarterfinal 93-66. The loss ultimately shut down Indiana's chances of reaching the madness in the NCAA tournament. Despite receiving an invite to the National Invitational Tournament, or better known as the NIT, Mike Woodson and the Hoosiers declined the invitation to focus on the off-season recruiting. Former IU basketball head coach Tom Crean had some thoughts about the decision.
There's no question about it. I would want to coach. I would want to develop my team. You've got bigger staffs than you've ever had. There's plenty of time for the portal. There's plenty of time to talk to recruits. There's plenty of time to negotiate NIL deals. There's not plenty of time to play. There's not plenty of time to get your players on the floor and give them a chance to get better. There's not plenty of time for guys to continue to play that may never get to play again.
And with that, the men's season has come to an end. But there are a couple of other Indiana schools who have some hoops left to play. While Indiana won't be playing in the NIT, Indiana State will be, just after missing out on the NCAA tournament in what's being called a major snub. The Sycamores were the third team out of the 68-team field after finishing 28-6 overall, losing in its conference championship game. ISU also has the highest net ranking ever for the team to be left out of the tournament. The Sycamores beat SMU in their NIT first round last night and will host to Minnesota on Sunday. Moving on from the court to the rink, Indiana men's hockey team are the 2024 Division II national champions. After a heartbreaking loss in a double overtime last year in the national semifinals, Indiana was looking for revenge. The Hoosiers defeated Lindenwood to advance to the national championship against Miami of Ohio. Indiana went to overtime against Miami of Ohio with the mindset not to repeat last year's heartbreaker in overtime. And they did just that. The junior Ethan DeLorenzo scored the winning goal to give Indiana their first ever national title.
Instantly joy, and it was just surreal. I can't put it into words, the amount of texts I've got from people just like saying how proud and supportive they are, and so it was a great feeling, but at the end of the day it was a team win and everyone played their exact role to perfection.
The Hoosiers will take some time off after their victory, but will get ready to get back in the swing of things in the coming weeks. And the countdown to spring football has begun. Indiana football kicked off spring practice this morning at Memorial Stadium as the Hoosiers prepare for their next spring game next month. This morning officially marked the beginning of the Signetti era. Along with the first-year head coach Kurt Signetti, 22 transfer additions represent the Hoosier State, along with several incoming recruits, and many new faces on the field were dressed to impress with this morning at Memorial Stadium. Practice will continue weekly up until Indiana's spring game on April 18th, and the Hoosiers will now look to work together to make a name for themselves in this new era of Indiana football. And with only 1 month until official race day, teams are preparing for the first step qualifications. Bill Armstrong Stadium is set to host quals on Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Each registered team has 3 attempts to complete 4 laps with 3 exchanges in between each rider. Their total time is then ranked, and then the top 33 teams will advance to the official Little 500 race. For the first time in 10 years, both men and women's races have potential to be full fields. And that's a wrap for sports. Kara and Julia, quals are a sign that spring is really here. Now back to you.
And hooray for that, Ari. Thank you. But one more thing before we go. IU's Melvin and Bren Simon Comprehensive Cancer Center will expand its lung cancer research after a $20 million donation. The Tom and Julie Wood Center for Lung Research was established after the gift from Julie, honoring her husband Tom, a popular Indianapolis auto executive who died in 2010. The family has donated over $28 million to date. That includes a $4.5 million gift to a mobile lung cancer screening program, the only one in its state of its kind, and it is expected to screen its first patient in 2025.
That's it for IU NewsNet for now. We have a behind-the-scenes student production team in the control room and working in the studio for this broadcast. We thank them and we thank you for watching. I'm Julia Pearl.
And I'm Kara Adams. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at IU NewsNet. Take care, and we'll see you next week.